Good, good. Here's your lesson plan.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scratch Kiss Academy. So I'm going to run through a few things real quick before I hand over to the lovely Greg. So first of all, our Discord. It's full of lots of lovely people, and we like to chat in there about D&D, TTRPGs, you name it, we're chatting about it. So hop over there and say hi. If you want to get into a game, just drop Scrat a DM on Twitter. We have 5 viewer games this season. What else do we have? YouTube. Everything is popping up on YouTube, normally sort of the day after it goes live. So you can catch up with last week's, that's all on there, and this will be up in the next couple of days. We are also full-time now, thank you to your lovely people. So if you would like to support us, please check out our Patreon. We do also have some free articles on there written by our lovely Renee, who's just gone freelance, so definitely go and check her out. We also have merch, which you can get via Redbubble if you want a super cozy jumper with our shield on. And also we have some really lovely sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm, who we are working on with something that's coming in season 3 that I'm so excited about, and you can find a link to their merch as well. And also Mage Hand Press, who created the D&D 5e reskin of Dark Matter Alpha. It's basically D&D in space, and it's awesome. What else do we have? When it comes to retweets in this, every 4 followers and every 10 retweets, we get effectively like a data pack. I think that's right, isn't it, Greg? That's we get some information on the whole overall storyline. So that's every 10 retweets. So without further ado, I will hand over to Greg. Hello, Greg.
Hello, and hello, everybody, and welcome back to Star Trek Perfection's Shadow. We don't do intros, do we? We just go straight into everything. I'm, of course, prepared here. So we have a new character coming in. I want to make sure that when the time comes, we do our due diligence, learn exactly what we see when we meet, and so when that time comes, we will get there. But as I always say, to go forward, sometimes you have to go back. And to go back, we need to know what happened in the first episode. Many, many things. The USS Reliance, part of the Emergency Crisis and Response Team for the Federation, was sent into the Carina star system. This star system is of note for several different reasons. Primarily, though, it is one of the very first Federation systems that you would encounter once leaving the Romulan neutral zone. It is a border world. And so, as they went into this area, the only Federation ship to go in, they were told by Admiral Talara to look for 2 ships that were lost, and in addition, make it to Carina 7, the only inhabited world in the system, a Federation planet, and one that had lost communications about 2 weeks ago. And so, with those 2 weeks and the absence of any discernible information coming in or out of the system, the Federation ordered a blockade, as is per the regulations of a border world along the neutral zone. As the Reliant went in, immediately she discovered that there were absences in space, pockets of distortion that needed to be negotiated around. And one of the missing ships, the USS Hawthorne, was found partially taken as it rested completely inert in space, no momentum of any kind. As the crew made it past the Hawthorne and to Carina 7, they took to the planet in a shuttlecraft, beginning their investigation of the world below. The world was an agricultural center made primarily for the growth and the harvesting of wine, as this was a climate likened to Northern California or Northern Virginia of the late 20th, early 21st century. Also, as far as trade goes, this wine is beloved by the Ferengi. Beloved so much that they are willing to trade their gold for it, which is a great commodity, a fantastic trade partner, and a negotiating tactic that spreads far beyond the Carina star system. As the crew went down, they discovered that there were elements of aging going on, whether it be in the structures, ones that were made of titanium that should have lasted at least a century or two, were crumbling after being erected only 6 months. Children born 6 months ago looked as if they were 6 years old. The vines themselves showed at a time of harvest were withered, even with the large grapes having withered themselves on the vine. Everything was aging. And as this process continued and as more scientific discoveries were made, confirming not only that there was some type of accelerated growth in all bio and inert matter, it became time to move to the next step. And as a pipe smoking farmer, an older humanoid, a human came up, name of Zane Knoll, the party split to check out his claims of Romulan influence and Romulan spying here in the colony of Carina 7. And the commander, the XO, decided to go back to the shuttle where she was going to check and make sure it was okay. However, upon returning, she discovered a terrible scene of an older gentleman, much like the Hawthorne ship, partially destroyed or removed, and a girl inside one of these pockets, a donut, if you will, of destruction, unable to move, unable to escape. Everything was tried to free her, but the only thing that could be done was that the commander risked her own life, ultimately sacrificing it to save the child. But save her, she did. And with her last order, remember you are a family, the commander disappeared. That is immediately where we are going to take up. Just a brief description of what you look like and what your role is on the USS Reliant. And once you both describe your characters, we will pick it up.
Greg, you're bubbling a little on your mic. Might reset it. Yep.
So breaking up just a tiny bit.
Let's do that. Any better?
There we
Yep.
go. Yep, all good.
You're welcome, everyone.
It
was
was a
incredibly
cool
creepy, so
effect.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
Great.
"Mm,
I
guess
felt
we
like I
died."
was in the donut.
Good. I'm glad I popped out the Zoom chat now so I can see that you're all trying to warn me. I appreciate it. Okay. Sorry. Well, anyway, we're taking up the second after the commander's evaporation, disappearance. If you would please, I would like both Lauren and I would like Alice to describe their characters, what their roles would be on the USS Reliant. And as soon as you both have done so, we will take the second after the commander's disappearance and begin the episode.
I play Tivoa Abril, or T to most people. I'm a Betazoid, and I am also the Chief Medical Officer on the USS Reliant. She's got short, very jet black hair that she keeps cropped out of the way so she can do everything that she needs to do. Sort of quite petite. And sometimes I think her caring nature can get a little bit too in the way and get her into trouble, very much like it did last week.
Nat would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm Lauren. I play Lieutenant Nat Nealon. She is half Betazoid, half Tellarite, so she has like really thick auburn hair, a little petite frame, green eyes, but she has a snout where a nose would be. And she is a security officer aboard the Reliant. And right now she looks like the most placid lake, but T, being a fellow empath, can probably feel the waves of grief and rage coming off of her right now as they just stand there.
Yeah, T, if it might have even just fallen a little bit because she's dealing with both the emotions coming from Nat and herself. She's finding it incredibly overwhelming, and of her officer who's just lost. I think she felt a lot of the fear and determination that came from her, and being held back, she doesn't know what to do now. She's utterly confused.
As the two of you process something that's you can't really process, as you stare at the actual and the emotional loss of a friend, a comrade, a crew member, you see that this donut that had been surrounding this, you're only really able to see it by the rippling of the force and kind of the gravity of the pushing of the soft dirt as it spreads outward. It seems to slowly be creeping out, maybe at the rate of an inch every minute or so. You do know that in about 10 minutes, it would probably begin to take pieces of the shuttle. So before we get into that part, we're going to cut several hundred yards to the west, where beneath the rows of rotten vines, there's a couple puffs of smoke as Zane Knoll and Amat are sitting among the rows. And so, TK, I will ask you the same thing. If you could please describe to us, who is Amat? What is their job on, or what is their task assigned on the USS Reliant? And what are they doing right now?
Well, I'm Ensign Amat Vol, reporting for duty, of course. But right now I am super hungry because, like, you know, this isn't like the deck where, you know, when I'm sitting up there as a flight controller, they actually don't let me eat that much. I'm super hungry though. I've been smoking with this guy for a little while and my mouth is really wet.
So we're gonna we're gonna stick right here with Zane Knoll, potential space racist, and Amat, as they are sitting there smoking long, kind of hand-carved pipes. You would notice that these pipes are actually whittled, and it seems to be from cork, and which is the only real tree grown on this, because they grow everything they need here. The corks, of course, being for the bottles of wine. So as you're smoking, you would catch just yells and drifts along the wind, and Zane, purported space racist, will turn to you and say, "Do you hear that? You think your friends are all right?"
Do you think it's Romulans?
Probably.
What should we do?
Run them off.
I've never shot anyone before. Have you shot someone?
No.
Oh, well, what was your plan? Let's go with that.
Well, you're the Federation, and you have a little more say than I do. So if you tell them to leave forcefully, they're either going to listen or not. And I figure it'll all just write itself. If they become aggressive, well, you're the Federation. My money's on you.
This sounds like something you made up on the spot, but I am blasted, so it sounds pretty good to me.
Right?
Do you have
I
any
come
more
up with
cheese
my
cubes?
best ideas when I'm smoking from my pipe. What?
Oh yeah. You have any more cheese cubes? I don't know where I put them.
Most of the stuff here is bad. I don't know if you've noticed. At this point, Amat, you would notice that he's pretty thin. But he says, I have been able to, some of these freeze-dried doodads that the Federation sent us for emergencies, and he pulls out what would basically be like a meals ready to eat, something that could withstand centuries inside the seal. And he opens it up and, gives you like a cube of what would be some type of fruit bar something.
And Amat looks at it and looks at him, and then looks around at all of the dead grapes and withered plants and stuff. Is sort of, how come you're not inside? Isn't it weird that you're out here and stuff? How come you're not wasting away and stuff?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, because this grape is all messed up and these bees are dead and some of the birds are dead. So some of those people are going crazy in a house. Why are you here? But she's they're also eating this fruit bar too. So it's through a full mouth.
And yeah, and as you all rolled last time, Zane, whether he's a space racist is beside the point, seems on the up and up. He at least believes what he is saying is true. And this is when Zane looks at you and he says, "Who's to say I'm 27?" And as you look at this old man who looks like he should be in his late 60s, early 70s, he just shrugs his shoulders and takes another long puff of his pipe. But we're going to cut back now to the shuttle by the shuttle, as I would like to hear the reactions from Nat and T.
T, we need to move the shuttle.
Yeah. Fast. We need to do it fast. And where's Amat? We need them back here now.
I pressed my communicator.
Just before you press your communicator, Nat, you hear a call coming through your communicator.
What is it?
This is Nealon. Go ahead.
You hear the voice of the captain. Nat, what's going on down there?
Someone has just been transported aboard the Reliant.
No, I know that. Where's Kalana? Where's my XO?
She didn't make it, sir. Sir, she did not make it.
And there's just silence in the line as we begin our episode. The only way that you can begin an episode of Star Trek.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Reliant. Its continuing mission? To seek out new worlds, to defend all life and all civilizations, to boldly dare where no family has dared before.
And with that, we will cut up. And as Nat and T drop away to the world below, we travel along the communication line through the clouds, through the sky, through the atmosphere, and through space to the bridge of the Reliant, where, clutching the back of the helmsman's chair, Captain Butler stands and his head drops slightly, his long homeward bounder beard touching and kind of bending against his chest of his uniform. And he holds that position for many moments as this man in his late 40s, early 50s comes to grip with the loss of not only his exo, but his friend. And as the camera pans around a silent bridge crew, over in the corner of the Trill, the comms officer, Lieutenant Vasa Biss, touches her ear and she says, "Sir, we have an incoming runabout. It's projecting the Olympus protocols. It's from Admiral Talara. She said she's sending a specialist." And we as the audience would see the captain as he turns and simply says, "Send them to my ready room." And as he walks off, he indicates that the Andorian on the bridge take the con. And we cut to this runabout further away from the Reliant, deeper into the Carina star system. Its lone occupant flying the craft unerringly, dodging through these pockets of empty space that have kind of been tagged by the Reliant in its wake. The Reliant in the distance growing larger and larger as this runabout begins its approach, working with thrusters and quarter impulse to drive into the docking bay of the Defiant class ship ahead. So, who's flying this? And welcome. So, like we did for the first episode, please let us know who you are, preferred pronouns for yourself, who you're playing, preferred pronouns for your character, and if your character kicked open some swinging doors at an Old West bar and everybody stopped and turned to look, what would we all see?
Cool. So hi everyone, I'm Ellie. I am at _Kempester on Twitter. You may know me from such shows as Mordenkainen's Path of the Plains on Wednesdays on the Greyhawk channel. My preferred pronouns are she, her. I am playing the Vulcan science officer, Lieutenant Takora. Also she, her. And if she were to kick in a saloon door, well, you would see a very tall, very thin, nigh on gangly Vulcan. She looks in many ways as a typical Vulcan would, with the hair and the brows and the ears. Unfortunately, I don't have mine yet, my props. Yeah, and she's very, very tall, and she looks like she's uncomfortable with that height, and she certainly wouldn't want anybody to be looking at her for too long. And I think as she gets out of the shuttle pod in the bay, she has to sort of unfold, kind of like a little insect coming out. And that is
awesome. As soon as you would exit from your runabout, you would be met by a human female, she, her, seems to be of Japanese descent or ancestry, and she comes up, identifies herself as Chief Willow Akana, and Lieutenant, the captain wishes to see you in his ready room.
Please lead the way.
And the smaller human turns around, leading you through the Defiant class starship. Now, the Defiant class, for everyone, was originally built to withstand Borg incursion into the Federation. She is a warship from tip to tail. However, the Reliant has been modified so that inside, instead of racks of marine arsenals and implements of war, instead exists modular laboratories as you rush from the cargo bay towards the ready room, which is off the bridge of the Reliant. You see elements of all of these science-esque modifications. It's still very Spartan, Whereas a Galaxy class like the Enterprise would seem more a flying hotel, this very much resembles the military nature of its creation. There's metal where there would be wood. There's the ringing of metal against your feet as you walk instead of the soft silence of a carpeted floor. And as you proceed through this craft, you actually pass by the med bay, and there is a force field erected. You can see it kind of glimmering with a purple and a blue. And as the force field is enacted, you see a doctor, an emergency medical hologram, an EMH, treating a little girl who seems to be weeping and staring in a mixture of shock, and she doesn't appear to be injured. But you see that for a moment, and you don't hear anything. There's a silence with the force field as well, but you see that the EMH, the doctor, looks right and left, does not see you, and pulls a counter open and pulls out what looks to be a lollipop and hands it to the little girl, and then takes his own hand and very awkwardly pats her on the shoulder. And then you are past the room. And as you get past this, you head towards, you can see the bridge in front of you, but you veer a sharp left, and you see, and the Akana, who's with you, the chief, says he's right through there.
Thank you. And she'll step in.
As you walk towards the door, it does not open, but it does make a chime, like a ding ding, and you just hear a, come in.
She steps forward.
Now, as you
through the door, she doesn't just walk into it.
Right. As soon as the order is given, the door opens normally and you're able to walk in, and you see Captain Yates as he is sitting there. His shoulders, once proud and straight, are slumped here in isolation, and you hear the following as you enter.
Commander Kalana Stoya, First Officer, USS Reliant, final orders. Only to be read under the following circumstances. Death in the line of duty, presumed dead according to Starfleet protocol. I am Commander Kalana Stoya, and these are my final orders. In the event of my death, my only order is that my position as executive officer be passed on to the next qualified crew member, effective immediately if the captain sees fit. He is aware of my recommendations. My personal effects are to be returned to my family at the most convenient opportunity. I can only hope that in my last moments, whatever they were, I was true to what you know of my character, and whatever the cause of my death, that it was because I did the right thing for the right reasons. It is not only our actions that matter, but our motivation for these actions. I can only hope I kept to that belief in my last. To the crew of the Reliant, I say only this. In times of violence, strive for peace, and remember that all life has value, even those who would harm us. This crew is a family. This crew was my family. Protect each other in the face of the unknown, and always strive to be better. Commander Kalana Stoya signing off.
And it begins to repeat, and you see him trigger a pad, and the voice of a woman you'll never meet silences as he turns. Who are you?
My name is Lieutenant Takora. I have been sent here by Admiral Talara. I believe I can be of some assistance.
I'm sorry. What is your? They said you were a specialist. What are you a specialist of, Lieutenant?
Well, science, but specifically botany, etymology. I have some interest in biology too. I believe my skills are sufficient to help in this situation, whatever it may be.
I don't know what's going on the surface. There's some type of pathogen at play. The doctor is trying to isolate it. We caught the girl's signal as she came aboard the Reliant and redirected her to an emergency beam to Medbay. We sealed it off with a force field, but she's been contaminated with something, and the people that can figure it out are on the planet. I can't risk bringing them up. They can be reached, but I hesitate risking any more lives. And his voice breaks.
I understand, Captain, that this is a tense and emotional moment for you. But I believe that we can work something out.
Very well. Lieutenant, I will leave it up to you. The planet is where your skills would be best put to task, but the planet is dangerous.
I understand. I think it would be more logical if I were to go to the planet, see it for myself.
Okay. I'll let you take your craft down, or you can beam down. We think we can have a stable signal to the surface, provided you keep your communicator on you at all times. Oop.
Of course.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I think, okay.
Am I back? Am I back?
You're back. You're back. Yeah. I thought it was a dramatic Vulcan pause. I was like, wow, shit, that's amazing.
No, you guys all froze for me. So I was like,
Okay. So the captain will, he gives you the option, taking your own craft down to the surface or being beamed directly to the away team currently on the surface. There is a shuttlecraft down there. He doesn't have to state that you can get a ride back with them should the craft be the option, but he will leave it up to you. Take your craft to the surface or be beamed down.
I believe that transport would be sufficient. I would beam down.
Okay. And I see that we have hit our first retweet goal. So with the retweets and as promised data for the crew, which is every bit as magical as an item in D&D, as you are being taken to the transporter room of the Reliant, you cross again the med bay, only this time you see the EMH standing at the edge of the force field. No pips on the blue outfit that he is wearing, but as soon as he sees a blue outfit indicated by your science division, he triggers a button on the wall and you hear a rather prickly voice come through on the outside. You, Vulcan, a moment.
Yes?
This girl in here is suffering from something rather odd. My preliminary discussions and observations with both the ship's computer and my own vast resources have identified a foreign particle. Would you care to know what it is?
Of course.
Very well. Then all I wish to do is speak to the chief medical officer on the surface.
I believe she is within comm range.
The captain will not allow it.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Would you like me to entreat the captain on your behalf?
That would be splendid.
Wonderful. Do I have to walk back or can I?
You could conceivably do like an intership communication with it, but it's maybe just 25, 30 yards down this hallway to get back to the ready room.
She'll turn on her heel and head back towards the ready room, hands behind her back straight.
With your periphery, you see that the EMH is smiling as you are returning to the direction they know to be the captain's ready room. As you get there, the captain is standing up, looking out the small panel that indicates the space field opposite of Carina 7. And the door never closed when you left. He allowed it to stay open. So as you walk in, Lieutenant, did we miss something?
I'm sorry to disturb you further, Captain, but the EMH has some kind of information that would be pertinent. He wishes to speak to the chief medical officer on the surface.
I bet he does.
May I inquire as to why he cannot do so?
If I gave in to every request that the EMH has, I would be nothing more than a butler here on the Reliance. But I will leave this up to you, Lieutenant. Your first decision aboard our ship. Should I give the hologram permission to talk with my chief medical officer?
It seems he has information that is important and that he needs to speak with her. Yes, they should communicate.
Let's see the information. And he reaches down, patch the EMH through to the dock. And on the surface T, you would hear a boop, boop.
And sort of snapping herself out of it. Yes.
You would hear a very familiar voice as the line is patched through. I thought I told you to be careful down there.
Oh God, who gave you access? Like, it's just sort of like listens up briefly. He's like, go on then.
I'm concerned.
About? There's a lot to be concerned about right now.
What happened to the executive officer?
Gone for now. We've lost them.
Gone? In the biblical sense or taken?
Dead.
Ah, I see.
You've called me for a reason. Can you please?
Are you in danger? Do you feel well?
We may be contaminated. That is all I have right now. What information is it you have for me?
And as if this isn't being monitored, but the EMH's voice lowers. 5 minutes ago, I sent information to your tricorder. It's accessed under Picnic. I encrypted it. I just wanted to talk and make sure you were okay.
We're fine. We're fine. We'll talk about this when we get back. But and she's sort of stumbling over her words with everything that just happened, and we'll talk about it when we get back. Thank you. I'm gonna go and check out this Picnic information.
Very well. Be careful, please. And
Always.
The line is cut.
You know, you two have a weird relationship. You know that, right?
How?
It's just weird.
Oh, really? Just okay. Like, sensing, she's not sure what she's sensing from you at this point, but
No.
Okay, mate. Is there a certain? Am I behaving wrong in this situation?
No. What are your orders?
And she just like immediately tries to find this encrypted sort of thing under Picnic. This, and tries to open up this information.
Nat's
very
gonna
easy.
keep an eye on the shuttle and the donut.
Okay, and Nat, you would see without a need for a roll that there is indeed a creep going on here as it's getting further and further. You have a few minutes before it would touch the shuttle, so it's up to you. It'd be easy enough to move it, 100 yards or something like that. So if you wish to do so, it won't take a con roll or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna move it And it'll give me a better vantage anyway to see if there's anything up while I'm moving it.
Okay, sure. When you do that for me, then let's get a Let's do our first roll here. Give me an insight or a reason, and security, because I know you're not looking for things that would pop out as far as additional information. You're looking for threat. Okay. So as that happens, you would look down at your tricorder and you would realize it's poorly encrypted. He wasn't trying to hide anything. He just wanted to talk to you. And the captain knew that. And that's why the captain refused to let him talk. Because,
It just feels like, like it sighs a little bit at that, thinking there's something really,
okay, so the information that the EMH was able to find out after, you can see that doing his due diligence, he cross-referenced the transporter filters with his own findings in sickbay, cross-referenced those again with the ship's science computers, even going so far as to relay and somehow get into the runabout computers of the newly arrived Vulcan. As he processed through all of his points of data compression, he came up with the one potential cause of this girl's contaminant, the pathogen, tachyon sickness. And you would know that tachyon particles are either artificially created or naturally occurring, and they are, for lack of a better word, time.
right. Okay. And so I know that there is, do I know that there is a Vulcan science officer on the way if they've sort of
You wouldn't know at all.
or no? Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't know at all. And Amat, as you are sitting there having a pipe, eating some dried fruit cubes with our good buddy, potential space racist, Zane Knoll, you
Having
would
a great time.
you'd see the shuttlecraft lift off, go about 100 yards, and settle back down. Nat, you don't experience any type of mechanical problems with the space with the shuttle. It doesn't seem like it's rattling. There's no emergency alarms go off. No, no warnings as to hull integrity, anything like that. It seems fit. And let's see, what did you get for?
I got one success, but I have a talent called Constantly Watching. When you attempt a test to detect danger, hidden enemies reduce difficulty by 1 to a minimum.
Great. Great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this award you an extra success then, as this was going to be. So you get to put that, you already have it, but I'll give you additional information. As you fly up, you look over and see that in the direction over where Amat and Zane Knoll, potential space racists, are standing, you look over the corner and you see another structure, presumably Zane's. It's about a half mile, 3/4 of a mile beyond their position. Also beyond that, for additional information, as it is a nice day here on Carina 7, you see the mountains begin to kind of creep up. This is a relatively flat world, picked specifically for the growing of wine. This is one of the larger hills mountains that you've seen. It's very close to the settlement here. And as you watch, you see a light burst from inside the canyon. And as soon as you land back down, with the doc coming over to meet up with you, you would both hear the following. This is the captain. We are sending a specialist down to help you. Nat.
Yes, sir.
This is a security mission now. We've already lost someone. You're in charge. Doc, I know that you outrank Nat, but this is a security mission.
Understood.
Take over the away team and keep them safe. Do you understand?
I do.
I'll leave it up to you then. And up in the transporter room, we have a Vulcan science officer who is sitting upon a transport pad. And as Chief Akano looks up, she awaits just one word
Wait. I nearly said engage, but that's not the right word. What is the right word? My mind's gone blank.
Energize.
Fuck. Oh my god. That's it. I'm handing back in my Star Trek fandom card. I don't belong here anymore.
No, I threw you right
No.
under the bus on that one too. I was like, I went from scene and jumped up to you. So my bad. So yes,
Damn
Chief
it.
Kana.
Wait a minute. Redo.
Chief
Chief
Kana
Kana's looking.
she has her bank in front of her as she looks at her pad. She looks up as you, this long, tall, gangly Vulcan, standing up directly over one of the pads in the Reliance transporter room, and she has her hands on the controls and waits for your signal.
Energize.
And so on the surface, you would see the swirl of blue light and the flash like an iris opening and elongated. And before you would appear, your new Vulcan science officer.
Lieutenant.
And T just sort of nods.
This is the entirety of the away team?
No.
We're missing one.
I tap my communicator. Ensign Val.
Yeah.
Are they okay?
I have a Nat has a little twinge. Please report back to your previous position with our contact.
Okie dokie. We could do that. Are there Romulans over there? Do we have to shoot them?
Please leave your phaser in its holster and get here stat.
Okay. Do I have to leave the pipe?
Like
Kneeling out. Kneeling out.
I'm not sure if I can raise my eyebrows any further.
No, I feel that way spiritually, at least.
If there's
Romulans?
anything that wants to be said in the interim, it'll take Amat maybe a minute or two to get over here, but you can easily wait so we can have everybody in the same area. Zane will follow. Zane, no potential space racist, will follow behind Amat at a respectful distance so the privacy of the Federation can be adhered to, but he will just walk with his pipe.
I saw something in the canyons. However many yards it was that way, a flash of light. It looked odd.
Exceptionally interesting. But first, I would like to know what is happening on this planet.
Yes. Yeah. That's me. As she sort of stands up, we seem to be experiencing tachyon sickness. I'm not too sure if it's natural or artificial yet, but people are aging at an incredible rate, and not just people. And she sort of gestures to some of the buildings and the vines and things like that. It's just dust, and we could be infected. In fact, I'm pretty sure we are.
As a Vulcan, I find this worrying.
You should. It's not good.
Well, if I am not mistaken, tachyon sickness is particularly virulent for my species. I think it best that we resolve this issue as soon as possible.
Yes, faster the better, if I'm honest. We just need the group back together, and sort of starts looking around for Val.
They're coming. And Nat points through the rows.
Oh,
There's a
and
puff of smoke,
Yeah, I was about to
and
say, if there's a puff of smoke, she's like,
and then Amat and
Medical officer,
yes.
may I just observe that your relationship with the EMH verges on emotional?
Thank you.
Like again, like looks back at Nat. It's like, is it really this bad a thing? We just chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hologram.
Interesting.
Yep.
You don't just. Okay. again, and sort of we worked. Yeah, I don't know. He moves boxes most of the time.
I have nothing further to say about it at this time.
Yes, it is best that we stick to the matter at hand. Oh, look. A new arrival.
Mott
Enter a
comes,
Mott.
like, full run, like sprint, but then like stops, like runs back to Zane to make sure that like they stay within a general distance of each other, but like can't contain their excitement just like being here.
Ensign, this is our new science officer.
Ensign Mott, well, flight controller, very pleased to be here.
Very
Do
good.
you have any snacks?
I'm Lieutenant Takora. I'm a science officer, and no, I have no snacks.
That was inappropriate.
Ensign
Cora
Val.
turns back to look at you guys like, what the fuck is this?
That's Ensign Val. Ensign.
Mhm.
Commander Stoyer is no longer with us.
She go back to the spaceship?
No, she did not.
Did she go back to the house?
No, she did not. T.
She's dead. Oh.
Like forever?
Yes, forever.
Oh.
But she saved a child in the process. And we remember that when we go up.
Sure, gonna put the whole ship in danger, but yes. We need to move. If we're following Mr. Zane, he believes there may be Romulans here, Lieutenant Takora. And, oh boy, yep.
Romulans.
Yes.
Well, we are on the edges of Romulan space.
Seems worth investigating. There's also the canyons nearby that
Where you
I
saw the
want to
flash
get.
of light.
Yes.
That's where they are. Sorry.
And who might you be, sir?
His eyes narrow a bit at the Vulcan because Vulcans and Romulans look surprisingly alike. As far, I mean, just as the way that they have been costumed and whatnot. But he recognizes a Vulcan.
Yeah, my shoulder pads
still-
aren't that big, so like I'm
Right.
obviously Vulcan.
He notices the lack of shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Zane Knoll, verified space racist.
Okay, I quit. I'm leaving, guys. Goodbye. I can never top this moment. I'm gonna go back to the hair salon. Do prom hair for the rest of my life.
And you are local to this planet?
I am.
And you have been here since the problems began?
Oh, well before that. But you see, these problems came because of the Romulans. No
what makes
problem.
you believe that?
I didn't see any Romulans, and there weren't any problems. But then I saw a Romulan sneaking around my land. Problems started soon after.
Yes, flawless logic, as one might expect.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you say it out loud, that actually seems like it doesn't make sense.
Nat likes Lieutenant Takora.
Guys, don't make me giggle.
All right.
I
Is there any reason for us to go to your property, Zane?
You want to stop this, right? I can prove it to you. I'll show you the Romulans.
I thought they were in the canyon.
right beside my they don't live on my property. They come down and they walk all over it and dig into it.
Great. All right, lead the way. We stay together from now on.
Wasn't there? Didn't you have somebody wearing red?
We did, Zane.
And T's like, I'm not doing this again. This is the third time.
And
It
for a
seems that
moment,
the danger here is very real.
for a moment, the Zane's face, which seems to have a bit of a defense mechanism built into the old wrinkled features, it softens. I'm sorry. I understand the risk you all are taking here. I lost my folks 2 weeks back. Let me get you there. I can prove this. I can help, I think. I can help.
Good. Let's move. And so watch our 6, and if you feel the urge to touch anything, just let us know.
Okay, I can do that.
Before you touch it.
I can do that too.
Good.
The time is relative speech is like going through their head right now. Like, well, define before. Like before you notice or before I make contact with it. Like,
I will say this as a freebie. We'll call it a portion of the retweets. With the information that was given to you by the doctor on the ship, T, you realize that using the parameters and the equations that he has set and used for your tricorder, the readout and the ability to kind of fine tune the tricorder, you could potentially scan Zane and learn a little bit more.
I was going to say, can I scan Zane, please? As not necessarily as he's talking, but as he's walking away, just sort of scan. So
absolutely. And let's do a reason and a science here.
And I also have viruses and mutations.
Which is
do that, please.
Absolutely into play here.
Sorry, what was that? A science and no,
Let's
reason.
do yeah, please. Reason and science. Yes.
Reason and science.
Nice. So you guys are already maxed out with your what you already have for your momentum. So I will give you additional information that you would receive here from Zane. As you are scanning him, he allows you to do it. He thinks that, you're helping, or, he seems to trust you all. As you're scanning, several things just immediately tick. He is human. But now with the added equation and the added kind of filter that the doctor has provided for you, you're able to get a couple potential readings. These potential readings come back as follows. Currently, his biological or molecular age seems to put him at right around 75. However, backtracked with the algorithm that the doctor even has a note in that says this is by no means verified. The best guess that the doctor has given puts his actual age at 14.
Okay. And T will just sort of step back. How are people walking in this order?
That's up front. Point.
Yeah, Takora's probably just after Nat.
Hey, stick around.
Amat will be in the back watching their 6 and also eating the remainder of the rations.
Is Zane like up front, like in front of everyone, or is he walking with them?
Zane would probably, I'll leave this up to Nat. Nat, are you running point? Or are you allowing Zane to walk in front of you? Or are you just kind of having him direct you from the group?
I don't want him out of my sight, so probably shoulder to shoulder.
Okay. Yeah, so Nat would be right beside Zane.
Yeah, and T will sort of walk up to whoever's closer, whether it's Lieutenant Takora or Nat, now that they've got a science officer, and just puts like a hand on whoever's close on their arm, not say anything, but just do it as almost like a pull back a little bit. So is either of you both shoulder to shoulder with this person?
It would be Takora because narratively Takora
Okay.
was walking in a line back. Yeah, so it would
Yeah.
be.
Excuse me. Yes, Lieutenant. Can I have a quick word?
She first of all like pulls her arm out of the way from where you touched her, like
I don't want to make a fuss. This Zane we're following, just as a heads up, it's reading that he's around 75 years old in just sort of biological terms and how everything is appearing to us. He's a kid, he's 14.
interesting.
Like, and she sort of again backs up. We're dealing with effectively a child.
Yes, I suppose that does complicate things somewhat. But he believes he can take us to these Romulans. And he has been helpful so far.
I'm sure he can. I'm just saying, bear it in mind.
For what purpose?
Just information, just additional information. Like, she sort of reels back, realizing she's not gonna get she knows Vulcans aren't emotional, but she's not gonna get this. Nothing, just bear it in mind. Information. It's always good to have information.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Shall we? And she almost speeds up a little bit to walk closer to Nat at that point.
How's Zane feeling as we're walking?
You can tell that as he has a stiff-legged gait to him, as almost as if he favors one hip. But he's spry. He walks forward. He has an enthusiasm as he's pointing ahead. Oh, it's just that's my that's my house right there, and we just go a little further and we'll hit the canyon.
Good. Are you all right?
I'm a little tired, but I am fine.
Smoking makes you winded.
Well, being here makes you dead, I think, so I guess you pick your poison.
Mm-hmm. Great. Good conversation. Walking in silence seems like a good idea.
Hey, what's this? I'm gonna touch it.
Hey.
You're already so close to getting a Vulcan nerve pinch, like
Just out.
What is it?
solved.
I think it's some rocks.
Just don't touch
Is
anything.
there a reason that you want to touch it?
I just want to see if they crumble when I do.
Can we not touch anything, please? Anyone,
Okay.
just please don't touch anything right now. Nothing.
All right, I won't.
My Betazoid friends,
Yeah.
you would be getting some reads off of confirmed space races Zane Null, and you would get the following: fear, a lot of fear, and also almost a pride to come across a willingness to impress.
And T sort of looks to Nat and starts going Nat, and then glances over at Takora. Is like, Lieutenant Nealon, how are you feeling? So,
I'm feeling fine.
and sort of looks over at Zane. How are you feeling?
He's right here.
I know.
I'm fine.
Everyone's good. Okay. And she'll walk up against the other side of Nat as they're still walking. It's like, this is a kid. This search to impress us might be, I don't know. He's 14.
Right.
This is a kid trying to impress us.
That's great. I love kids. Well, it's the only lead we've got.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying we should go anywhere else. I'm just saying, bear it in mind.
Zane, do me a favor and stand in the middle, just in case any Romulans pop out.
All right. Sure thing. Just keep walking straight. I'll guide you from back here.
And he kind of runs closer to Amat, who's in the rear.
How are you doing?
Oh, just trying not to really touch anything because everything seems interesting here, but also I don't want to make Nat mad. Like, her wife is already high strung as it is, and she'll freak out.
Right. Do you want a pipe?
I'm kind of working right now, but maybe later.
Gotcha. And he walks shoulder to shoulder with Amat.
How long have you been out here by yourself? I know you said like your parents died and stuff. I'm sorry about that.
My whole life.
Your whole life alone?
No, my parents died 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. Like, how long you've been alone out here?
2 weeks.
Okay, so there's like not other people who live out here?
Everyone was told to stay inside, but I tried to figure out what was going on. So I've been searching around. That's when I found the Romulans.
Oh, that's so cool. You're like such a rebel.
Yeah. That's what they always called me, that, you know.
Yeah?
I was a rebel.
That's cool. I'm into it. It's really cool. You should join the Federation, except you're like super old.
I wanted to, yeah.
Good talk, man. Just like keep walking.
So yeah, as Zane just he stays wherever he's told to. As you all continue forward, I'm going to start asking for some look arounds. So if you want to give me reason or insight, and I'll take whatever you want to look for. I'll take a science, I'll take a security. If you're looking for additional knowledge on the planet itself, if you're looking for that science, if you're looking for evidence of Romulans, that would be security.
I'll take security.
Roll for science, probably just because she's still trying to figure out what on earth is going on.
I'll roll for security just because. Meh.
I shall roll for science.
What's the other attribute? I'm sorry. My cat is talking to me.
No problem. You can go reason or basically reason and science, or reason and security. Insight might even glean you some more additional information from Zane himself and kind of coupling that with the environment. But I can give you different information depending upon what we get right here.
Okay, I'm going to roll the one I'm going to be good at then. Do I have an applicable focus? No, I don't. Just persuasion. That's not going to help. Oh. Pew! Did it work? I did it.
I got one come through, and
What the
One-
hecky? I'm gonna blame my cat.
the cat lands. And oh, by the way, also wanted to thank Avatar of Wrath who subscribed, and they'll take this little, as we're doing some technical stuff here, take some rolls. If you all want to look straight down below us here on the screen, you can see some brand new donation tables that we have. Not that anything's going to happen in the next couple minutes, but I thought now would be a good time to let everyone know that we have a new Kobayashi Maru donation, that if you want to make the current situation more difficult. We also have one that if you want to take a hands-on approach to killing everyone here, you can become a Child of the Star, where you create with me and command your own Romulan star cruiser. So your warbird would be named and commanded by you. And then, of course, if you want Q to show up, that's there as well. But as we go back and look at all of these roles, couple of the following, with our security focus being a bit of what looks to be, yeah, T, I'm going to give you something in a second, but Amat, as you are looking around, as you reach down to pick up a rock, despite everyone saying, hey, don't pick up any rocks, you see a very distinct boot tread that's off the path and kind of half on the grass and sunken in as it veers off the main path towards an area of the canyon that Nat would recognize as where the flash came from.
Is it a single boot tread? Just like a single pair of boots?
You have like a partial print. You could look around for more of a track, but this is definitely not you all, as it's away from where everyone has walked in your group. It could be Zane. It looks suspicious from a security perspective.
Yeah. Amat would call Zane over and be like, put your foot here, like beside it.
That's Romulan. I know it. And he puts his foot.
Well, let's just measure.
His foot it's much narrower than the print. Romulans. I knew it.
And then Amat will like smack like his arm and be like, go get Nat. Go get Nat. Lieutenant, go get the lieutenant.
And he looks back. Gold, right? Gold. Indicating the color. No, indicating the color of the shirt. He wants to make sure that he gets the right part. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he runs up and
hurry.
You Nat, you would feel a pipe tap on your shoulder.
Yes.
Amat's found something.
She touched it?
No.
Okay.
All right, everybody halt.
He has no idea if she did or didn't, or they did or didn't, but he's completely lying for him.
Yep. Everyone halt, and Nat will about face and head back to Ensign Ball.
T will probably just wait still further back, waiting to hear anything.
Amat is like in the meantime like hiding in the bushes just in case more Romulans come by, and when Lieutenant Nellen comes by, they'll like pop their head out and be like, there are tracks here.
Show me.
Right there.
All right.
I didn't touch it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Damn it. Yeah, can I see any more? I'm guessing they don't look like Federation standard boots. Can I determine anything else from them?
Give me let's do an insight and security for you.
Okay. I'll use some of our momentum, I think. We just have it, so I'm gonna use it. Could observation be an applicable focus for this?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Yes. So
Nice.
much momentum.
I can give you back the 2 momentum or the 1 momentum you spent and then give you additional information. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, let's take it back up to 6. And also what we're going to be doing today, as we haven't moved from a scene yet, with the 2d20 system, when we leave a scene, we decrease momentum as the group moves to a different area and time has passed. So that's one of the new things we're going to be throwing in today as we get further and further into the 2d20 system for Modiphius. As you look at this print, Nat, you kind of you did the training for security. You know about stride patterns and things like that. And as you kind of progress your gaze further up into the softer earth off of the gravel path, you see another set, another print as it heads off into an area of the canyon that you definitely recognize as where that kind of that aura of light came from. And as you look, while it's by no means a science, you can see that there is a heavy tread to the heel of these boots. And you would know that the Romulans, as well as the Klingons, tend to have a wider heel for whether it's biological or whether it's comfort or whether it's simply style. It seems that that is inherent to many species, but these two in particular, and with the Romulans in play, it kind of triggers something in your head. And Zane's sitting back there, and with a whisper, he says, "See, Romulans."
Welcome to the academy. Please take your seats.
Maybe.
What is it?
All right. A trail. The ensign found a trail probably leading to that canyon.
Trail.
Single person, heavy tread, maybe Romulan, maybe Klingon. It's unclear.
You can tell that from the trail.
Yes.
Impressive.
So, unless there's any reason you, Lieutenant Decor, think that we should head to the farm first. I don't know if is it on the way, Zane? If we're heading toward the canyon, or are we going to pass your land?
You basically, up on a rise on your right, now on your left, when you turn back around, his homestead was there, but he took you around the homestead and just took you straight to the canyon because he wants to prove that there are Romulans.
Right. All right, I suggest we proceed to the canyon. Phaser set to stun.
Zane seems like he wants to say something, but he doesn't.
Zane, do you have something to share?
They told us in school that the Romulans don't have stun settings on their guns.
Is that true? Well, we're not the Romulans. We're the Federation.
You went to school like 60 years ago, so...
I remember.
Mm-hmm.
When you're this close to the Romulan Empire, you remember stuff like that.
Right. Phaser set to stun.
Just while this conversation is going on, I think Takora would be like gathering up some like soil in a little test tube and a few like leaves into a little test tube and generally doing sciencey stuff.
What you would, as soon as you would pick these things up, Takora, as you would take a leaf that normally would maintain its integrity, it almost turns to ash in your hands. You don't apply force to try to like tear it but just the movement against the wind is causing it to kind of it almost has a paper quality, a dry paper quality. And as you move it, just the breeze and the motion cracks it and sends it asunder. You're able to get elements of it and absolutely put them away for later research, but it's just that tactile instability that's alarming, or for a Vulcan, interesting, disturbing, not necessarily alarming.
Well, Takora has a lot of experience working with bugs. That's her main shtick, and they're very small and can be tricky and delicate. So I think she finds this no challenge.
Right. And because of that speciality, you would see what the others saw last session. You see bees, to your eye, everywhere, as the bees that were normally used to cross-pollinate certain aspects of the vines in a natural or as natural a process as they could, they all lie dead in clusters around the vines, just in the area. As you turn and look, you, being a specialist, see the little pockets of yellow and the pockets of color everywhere as these bees are gone.
She'll definitely take a few of those.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to mark down that you have biological material and the bees. All right. As you all start heading down this line, I'm going to ask Lauren, how's Nat proceeding with this as you start to see more and more prints as the ground, when it gets away from this gravel trail, seems to almost be pressed down with traffic?
Is there, so the tracks are going into the canyon itself?
Yep, and you have left the what would be the official trail, which seemed very infrequently used anyway, but this is kind of almost a cut path that goes off where you first started walking and saw the intermittent staggered path or tracks. As soon as you kind of got out of eye shot of the official trail, it became more obvious that this was being used, and a kind of a secondary pressed path appeared, all of these carrying similar print marks to that wide heel that you identified earlier.
Is there a ridge or anything above that could follow the path, or is it just the path itself?
Let's see. Why don't you roll me a reason and security to see if you can see anything that might be advantageous.
Okay. Use some momentum, because we got it. Look at that. That's great. So weird.
Yeah. So there's a complication, and then there was a great success. As it was a 2 degree of difficulty, you can see here fine, kind of nestled off to the side, a very thin trail. It would be difficult to negotiate, but definitely would give you an elevated position.
I think there are a larger number here than originally anticipated. It might be advantageous to skirt above until we know exactly what we're dealing with.
And that's what we do.
How are your arms feeling?
Fine.
Okay.
Good. Lieutenant?
For hanging on, just in case.
Well, I assume we've all had basic training and we are at a competent level of fitness.
Yes.
Ensign, does this pose any problems for you?
Nope, I'm pretty fit,
Wonderful.
Lieutenant.
And Nat's just looking at the dock like, are you sure?
Like, yeah, I'll be fine. Like, you can hear that tremble in her voice, and she has a slight fear of heights.
Oh,
And
good.
It's just, yeah.
If you find the notion distressing, Doctor.
No, not at all. I'm a professional. Like, as you can see, it's almost like it's reverted back to when she was much younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amat will clap her on the shoulder with Amat's prosthetic arm. And don't worry, I can give you a boost.
Honestly, I'm fine. I am fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Feel
Zane.
yourself at any moment compromised. Do speak up.
Mm-hmm. But she's just sort of looking up at this little bit, but like...
Zane, you should stay here.
Okay.
Hide, maybe?
Sure thing. You see him go over and get behind a bush, and then you see a puff of smoke go above the bush.
Can you make shapes with that?
I'm not a caterpillar from Alice in
Okay,
Wonderland.
never mind.
Shapes
Yep,
may
so-
not necessarily be needed. I believe some ancient Earth peoples used smoke signals. A simple series of puffs might suffice.
Very good, Lieutenant. Zane, if you see anyone coming, maybe, I don't know, 3 puffs in quick succession?
Like this?
Not
Takes
right now.
Takes about 10 seconds, but you see like 3 pretty dense puffs. And Zane looks out and goes, "How's that?"
That's
As he's
great.
like, deep draws to get where he needs to be.
Yep, that's great. So maybe don't smoke until then.
Okay.
You would not want to accidentally give us a false alarm.
Or give away your position prematurely.
Will do.
All right, let's move out.
Because he like
Okay,
keeps psyching herself up like the side.
Jumping up and down.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
The core is like looking at her like, oh, dear God.
T, stay next to me, between myself and the ensign.
It's fine.
Okay, so what I would like here is I would like a fitness, and I'm going to go with security because you're trying to do this as quietly as possible. So fitness and security, and I will let you know you're still in the same scene. Currently, we have 5 momentum to deal with. You can use as much as you'd like. 1 buys you another die. 2 more will buy you another die. 3 more will buy you another die.
I'll use 1, why not?
I kind of want
Okay.
to roll without a momentum to see what happens.
I kind of want you to too. Not gonna lie.
Then I'll use it for when I have to grab you, just in case. Just in case.
So you're not using 1 now, but you'd like to. This is
No.
just your check, your basic check to
Okay.
get up there.
Oh, that's good.
I feel like Amat before climbing would like clap T on the shoulder and try to use like give like their inspiration focus and be, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're an officer. This is silly stuff. This is like gym class. You'll do great.
Oh God! Like you could hear it just sort of like I hated gym class.
I would like to use a reroll, please.
Oh,
Just-
okie dokie. You can completely
Oh,
re-roll it.
this is a problem.
Oh my god, guys, we need to go to the gym.
I feel like being like over at the Vulcan now. Really?
I have a 9 fitness. Like, I don't understand what I did wrong.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm gonna, yeah.
I mean, we all have
Okay.
reasons, right? Don't we?
Yeah.
How many re-rolls do we have? Because I have Lauren with 1 and me with 4. But does everyone else have some?
I have
Oh,
2.
I think I have two.
Yeah, I have one from last thing.
okay. There we go. Takora had 2. So Takora's definitely using 1.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
the only one I got.
I think I'm
Mott
only
had
rolling
1.
because I'm so scared of this. I'm like clinging on, like digging my hands into.
I think Amat like can't control their strength in their prosthetic arm and like just punches holes. It's just like crumbles to the ground. It's just like, oh.
Right. Okay, so who all burnt through 1 right now? I know
I'm
see
about to, yeah.
okay. So TK, you used yours, so you're out. Alice used 1, so you're down to 1.
Oh no, I haven't used a reroll.
Oh, okay, that's right. So you have
I
2
got one
then.
success. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Takora used 1 and is down at 1. Okay, I think I'm back. I'm just keeping those here for no reason whatsoever.
So
And then there's a-
to re-roll, am I literally just doing like fitness and security again, but with 1 d20?
No, let's just go ahead and do it all
Okay.
completely. We'll count the reroll as a complete wipe and go forward because it'd be too tough to figure out which die was,
Sure.
If I get a double like again, I will lose my mind. Okay.
You got a double, but like a good kind of
Yeah.
double.
Yeah, it's just like straight red. I was just like, show's over, kids.
Bye. You were
Red
such a
to
fun
match my
character.
Red to match my red shirt climbing up.
Okay, so
R.I.P.
let's see. Nat, you have 2 successes and a complication as your final one. Let's see, we need Takora's reroll if you're rerolling. And let's see, we have Amat came in with 2 successes and T had 1 success, which is good.
So wait, so am I just re-rolling 2 d20? I'm so confused. Yeah? Okay.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead and re-roll the whole thing again. So go do like a fitness security again.
Yeah.
And we'll take this new one. Whatever this new one is, it'll bypass the
Okay.
there you go. Got a success. So how we're going to play this is the 2 that got the 2 successes. As you're going forward, this is a very narrow path. And in the best of circumstances, perhaps before this tachyon sickness affected the planet, it would have been a little bit more stable, but now it has almost a limestone quality to it, as there are cracks in this formerly bedrock-esque stone. And the successes are fine, but a couple times we have shifts as Takora kind of loses her balance for a moment. The doctor loses her balance for a moment, and both Amat and Nat are able to stabilize from these kind of like wider links in the chain. You all have made it you made it up about 50 feet above where you were. You can proceed further, but I will take a reason and security here to see if you can spot anything.
I think T's just got her head down right now. She's not going to be looking for anything.
1 success.
Are we all doing the reason task?
If
Sorry,
you wish to, yeah.
So it was insight? No, wait.
Reason and
Reason
security, please.
Oh yeah, this is gonna go so good.
I think T will literally be watching her feet, so I don't think she'd be looking around.
Oh. My
Okay.
dog eyes perceive things.
I have the focus willpower. Would that give me like I can look around while doing fitness things, like to kind of multitask?
Yeah, what we're going to say too for all of this, Ahmad, is that with the willpower focus that you have, this is coming into play in this particular circumstance. This is you keeping the doctor and the Vulcan from slipping and falling. So you're using them and kind of keeping them in place, taking a bit of a command authority in all of this, as you just don't, no one's falling. You're just, you've decided. No one's going to slip. No one's going to hurt themselves. And there you've just proved it.
I did it.
So what this means is with this roll that Ahmad has just done, not only do they see what I'm going to say, but on the way back down, no one makes rolls. The willpower Ahmad has figured out how to walk, how to negotiate this, how to make sure those tricky areas are not going to beat the away team this time. So you have a free descent thanks to your ensign. And those of you that succeeded in this, as you look down into the valley, you are gifted with the sight of a box canyon, a complete blank wall. But then there is a flash of light, a shimmer as the entire wall seems to ripple like a curtain or water. And you see a Romulan walk out through the wall. And you see the Romulan look around, looks up the opposite side of the canyon, and then looks forward back down eye level with the ground, you all 50 feet elevated to this humanoid's left. And as you hold position up there, you slowly see them pull out a disruptor pistol and begin walking down the canyon. And you know that there is an old man hiding behind a bush in that area.
First of all, I have to say that I'm so upset that space racist Zane was right. This is so disappointing.
Me too. I know.
14-year-old racist Zane.
Being right in this instance, though, that doesn't make him less racist. So let's
That's
all
true.
learn
Yeah,
from
that's
this.
Yeah.
This is a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Right, let's put
Is
in
it
perspective,
true?
everybody.
Yeah.
He's not gonna like them anymore after this.
Well.
We
Right.
should do something.
We can't just leave him there. We need to go back. We need to do something.
Well, what if we throw a rock at him?
You want to throw a rock at a Romulan?
No, at him.
Oh.
He has a signal for us, but we don't have a signal for him.
How far away are we at this point?
The Romulan's passing 50 feet below you, and Nat, you would know you are within phaser range.
Oh, that just seems so. Oh, that seems like a
It is.
bad idea. Oh, that seems like a terrible idea, especially because Greg suggested it.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
but our bad
I'm
ideas
just
have
here to
worked out so
provide
far.
information. You are 50 feet away. That coincidentally is within phaser distance.
Okay.
When was the last time our bad ideas didn't work out, though? Like,
Right.
True. Yep.
we're on a winning
Uh-huh.
streak.
Yep.
PK, that's the greatest thing to say during a role-playing game. How can we go wrong? Everything is going
Everything's going
nice.
great.
These
In
dice are
episode
good.
2.
Right.
I'm sorry, I slipped into like GM mode. I was like, let's do it.
Can I descend quietly? Don't want to. I don't know what this guy's. I don't want to shoot him. That just seems like such a bad call.
Do you want to? You mean like you want to be able to descend and get the drop on him, like
Yeah.
get the level so you can communicate without there being like almost an ambush quality to you being 50
Yes.
feet up? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to give you several suggestions. None of these are nefarious by any stretch of the imagination. You do have the ability to order you think, You can transport. You can use the transporters to beam you straight down to the canyon. However, that requires communication with the ship. You haven't tried any of that since you were back by the shuttle. So everything's kind of hairy the farther away you get from the relay of the shuttle. You can climb down yourself. I will make you make a roll. The DC would be pretty tight. Or Amat can help you because they have that kind of stored willpower that was to be used for the trip down. But I would gladly put that towards your descent and getting Nat down behind the Romulan. Almost Amat hanging off and using their robotic arm or their prosthesis to lower you down and get you maybe to a lower, a safer distance. So whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah. Does that sound good, Amat?
Yeah, I can help.
Great. Just, yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. So good at talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's
I
go.
believe in you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's, all right. It's funny, Nat is very petite.
I want to ask a question. Are you sharing this plan with Takora and T, or are you just starting this plan and...
No, of course I share the plan.
Oh,
Okay,
Amat had no interest in that, so it's a good thing that Nat is, because Amat's just like, let's jump off the side of a canyon.
I'm gonna go and see if I can talk to the Romulan.
Talk with the Romulan.
Is that like a crazy thing? Everybody keeps looking at me like I'm crazy that I don't want to just shoot them from 50 feet away.
I think it's a great idea.
You don't go on your own.
It's just there are 4 of us. They might feel outnumbered and threatened.
Well, are there? And sort of T looks around as if there aren't any more, are there?
Well,
Just
probably.
one,
I think
but-
that's a hologram and they're probably all behind it. Yeah.
Well, I think they're using their Romulan cloaking device.
Exactly. Don't go down there on your own.
We are running out of time.
I could go.
We should not let the ensign go.
Yeah.
Me. Put me down there as well.
Okay, that's
I won't say anything. I'll just be there.
You are probably better at talking. Sure, Ensign, can you lower us down?
Probably.
I'll just stay here then.
Oh no, I'll come back up.
Just
Wonderful.
keep an eye out.
Is that worse or better?
Okay, so I am automatically going to add 3 successes to this maneuver. Those were the banked willpower successes that we rolled before. So with those 3 successes in play, you have your momentum available to you. I would like to have another fitness and security roll by everybody that is descending. This is a group effort, and so the combination of successes will go into just how quietly and successfully you do this. You have 3 already.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, I hate this.
2 successes.
I don't think I have anything else for that, so it's fine. Boop. Boop.
Nice, that's impressive.
We did it!
Right. With 9 successes, as 8 was what you needed to get down for optimal benefit, as you all get down to the bottom by kind of climbing on Amat as they kind of grab and move people with the prosthetic arm that carries much more load ability. Amat, hey, listen, if somebody's writing a recommendation after this is over, this is definitely going in a log or a report, because this is flawless execution of a descent of a cliff. And the ensign may have problems with other things, but climbing, nailed it. So on the bottom of the ground, Takora, you're able to watch as silently, maybe as the arachnids that you've studied in the past or the insects, they just descend upon the crumbling rock, never sending a bit of it down to alert the Romulan. And definitely T and Nat are now on the canyon floor behind the Romulan. But Amat, you promised to go back up, are you?
Yeah, I probably should, because it seems like these two are like in a weird love spot thing, and I don't want to get in the middle of that. But I also told the senior officer that I should go back up there, and she seems like she's in charge or something, so I should go.
Okay. So as you climb back up, we will use the other success that was left over by the group. Your ascent is as quiet as the descent, and Takora, you would see Amat post up and pull themselves back up. Again, the silence is impressive, and this execution of a physical task to sensorially nice. Excuse me. So as the two of you watch the scene unfold, let's go back to the canyon floor as we have Nat and the doctor, and they're about 15, 20 yards in front is the high shoulder pads of the Romulan, who is standing with the disruptor pistol out, looking back and forth as if seemingly alerted but not certain of something.
All right, so Nat moves T behind her. Yep. Unless you would not like to be moved, in which case I will
She
not
lets
move
you do it, but she looks slightly like, fine. Just slightly confused more than anything.
Uh-huh. And Nat takes out her phaser and is going to wait until they're... Does this curve at all? I'm trying to get out of line of sight of the shimmer.
Okay. He hasn't advanced to the point where you would be around a curve. It does curve, but he hasn't passed that point. Basically, if he walks further and curves to the left, he's going to run into Zane. That's where Zane's left, and that's why you guys couldn't see the box canyon but went elevated. So there's kind of an elbow to this, but you're still in line with the shimmery wall.
All right. Gonna wait until he hasn't kind of crossed the elbow. Like I said, phaser is out, is set to stun. And as we cross it, hi.
He spins around as you see the disruptor pistol come up, and he doesn't look like he intends to negotiate.
Okay. Well, I had to check. Okay, I'll shoot him, I guess.
T probably tries to drag Nat, like just force them to the ground or something to try and pull them out the way.
That's what you get when you try diplomacy. This is what you get.
I didn't try anything.
No, I'm talking to myself.
This is what you get when the security officer tries to take command. Right. I love it. I love it.
I can't believe we didn't just murder him on sight. God.
This is why everything goes wrong.
This further proves, like, Zane's witnessing all this going, I knew it. And so
damn it. Damn it.
I'd like you to make you get the jump on him though, because you were lowered and ready to rock and roll. So you get to take a phaser shot at him, our very first phaser shot of Star Trek, as you are able to fire this off. And let me see if I've got hold on one sec. I want to see if I have this that sounds nothing like a phaser, but I'm going to use it anyway because there it was, everybody. Anywho, as you take your shot, as the phaser goes off of your phaser 2, go ahead and roll it for us, and let's see what we get. And Yep, just yeah, roll your little insignia beside
Yep.
your
And I'll use momentum, and I have an applicable focus, which is hand phasers.
Sounds good.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, I was
yeah.
gonna roll, but maybe not.
Go ahead, and this is a moot point at this point, but let's roll damage anyway as you light this cat up. When all those effects, by the way, are stunned. So
Yeah.
as you turn around, let's do it from your point of view, and Takora and Amat from the elevated position, you see this Romulan turn around as if it's the Old West, spin with it looks very impressive with the disruptor ready to fire, but before a sound, a scream, a response, you hear the sizzle, the of a phaser as perfectly center mass right in the chest. You see the Romulan just get hit, and every muscle in his body says nope, and he just drops into a heap. The disruptor pistol clacks to the ground, and you see 3 puffs come up as Zane warns that he heard something.
And T, I think, will actually run over to the Romulan, probably kick the gun just that little bit further, probably more towards Nat. And then just, as much as it is a stun, just check that he's okay. And look back, it's just like, remind me not to piss you off, okay? And
That would
she's
be
just-
wise.
Yeah, okay. And she's just gonna check this Romulan over to make sure it's not reacting in any unusual way.
Sure, give me let's do a reason and a science here, please. And at this point, I will say, Amat and Takora, you may descend and presumably not have to worry about being stealthy, as you already have people in between the area. So if you want to come down, you can.
Can I use like my studying and practical experiences or trauma or something like that as a focus?
I will give you an additional, yes. I'll let you focus on one of those and give yourself an extra D20
Okay.
for something else.
So, extra D20.
You lit him up, Lord Almighty.
I made her to do a thing. She does a thing.
She does a thing really
You
well.
were running away from it so much last week that just built up rage.
Yep.
Taken out on one Romulan.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Klingon levels of ass kickery right there. Jesus, that's 4 effects. That's crazy. I love it. Yeah, this guy is stunned to shit. I mean, it hit him like just nerve cluster. He's fine. But I mean, just absolute full body paralysis, nervous system shut down for conscious thought. He is textbook stunned, and with him completely out like this, when with those additional successes, as you're running your tricorder over, everything's reading correctly for Romulan physiology, as the tricorder possesses a billion different life forms and your ability to ascertain their medical needs. The one thing that doesn't pop up, and was the extra die I gave you, there are no presence of tachyon emissions.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And she looks back at Nat, is like, not infected. Not at all.
That's odd.
And as T starts looking over, and she probably will take out and just try and get a blood sample off of this guy, especially because probably not something she gets too often, and it's laying right there right now. So she's gonna try and get a blood sample.
I'm gonna drag him around the elbow.
Yeah.
Have Takora and Amat caught up with them now?
Just as you go around the elbow, that would be where the two of you would have descended. So you kind of all meet up at Zane. And Zane's sitting there, and he just nods and looks. Romulans.
It appears you were correct. Takora would like to take her own blood sample too.
Okay. I would like let's do another reason and science from Takora as you're coming at this from a different perspective. And because we did get 20 retweets and more data, I will provide the following bit of information. In addition to realizing that this Romulan has not experienced any tachyon emissions or tachyon sickness or whatever the doctor kind of started to get, as you're taking a blood sample and kind of just working around the just trying to get somewhere to use your hypo, you realize that he is carrying a hypo spray. And whatever's inside it is not identifiable by your tricorder.
Interesting. May I use my focus in biology to...
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So yeah, you all are, I'm going to give you guys, let's pop back up momentum because you guys have received several. Everyone's maxed back up to 6, and the information that you received, Takora, as you're looking at this from a biological perspective, this hypo spray that you found, you can see evidence of some type of what would be in humans, an elevated white blood cell count. Almost as if there was some type of defense mechanism set into place that seems to have been prompted by this hypo spray, almost like an immune enhancer. And while you're watching all of this, you can see that certain aspects of the outfit or the material that this Romulan is wearing is showing signs of wear. The metal that makes up some of his clippings and some of his communicator seems to be pitted. It seems to have a rough texture to it instead of a polished metal, as if it has been left out in the rain or the elements. However, the Romulan himself, he seems fine.
Interesting. It seems they're finding a way to fight it as they would an infection. I shall show the doctor.
Then we can use it.
It would seem that way.
And she'll probably take a look at it. And do any of us look like we're already suffering the effects? Because we've been here for quite a bit now, not quite a full day, but
I'm glad that you've asked that. You may use the tricorder on anyone that's been here. And I will also tell both of you this because we had numerous successes, the retweets and everything came in, and we have 2 science-y people now doing science-y things in the Star Trek universe, which is science. And so as the science-y people do the science-y things, after the security person did the perfectly shot thing and the ensign climbed down like a spider, lowering everyone to their position. Team effort, everybody, go team. The sciencey people almost come to this realization at the same time as Takora looks at T. Romulan physiology is very similar to Vulcan physiology. And while the hypo spray may not work for Betazoid or human or anybody else that could come into contact with this right now in the away team, you're looking at a potential match just because of genetic standards between the Romulans and the Vulcan in your party. But that's just kind of a mutual bit of knowledge you run across at the same time. And what was the questions that you all asked was after
does
I went
anybody
off
look worse for wear?
Does anyone look like that?
Who do you want to tricorder?
I think if she's thinking about it, well, if she's just looking, she will look at whoever's closest to her, but if she can actually scan someone, she'll scan herself.
Okay. I would like you to roll me 2d20.
Just straight up 2d20.
Using the records that you have that are taken anytime a party member or a member of the crew transports anywhere, it marks sort of like a biological stamp on the person, how they are feeling, what's currently in their system, and their age. Just genetic patterns, just kind of the degradation of the form. You are 21 days older than the last time you went to the transporter. So according to the doctor's algorithms, your own findings, you have aged almost a month.
And she'll look down at these and then look back at the rest. I suggest we get out of here as quick as possible. We may have been on here a day, but by this standard, it's a month.
Before we leave, we need to find the cause.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the longer we stay here,
The
older we're going
course.
to get. And
Do you
so
think it's
else.
contagious once we leave the planet, though? It didn't go away in the biofilters, because otherwise your friendly hologram probably wouldn't have been able to see it at all. So it won't go away if we transport, and if it's contagious via us, via the air we breathe,
We
we
can't
can't take it.
We can't take it back on there, but we need to do something about this. And she's now like holding like this spray type thing. Now, it might be able to work on the lieutenant here, but the rest of us, I'm going to need to play around with this. I don't know.
It
Good
seems
call.
our next logical course of action would be to investigate whatever facility the Romulans have established here. It may be that they have caused this for some purpose we do not yet know.
I agree. We could wake our new friend up and ask.
That
I
is, of
know
course, one option.
talking isn't my strongest suit. I just thought that the commander would have wanted me to try.
The commander isn't here. I suggest you apply your skills where they're most useful and needed.
Thank you for your suggestion.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's wake him up.
How would you like to prepare for the awakening?
I need to. Do we have rope?
Just
Do we have I have manacles. I have so many manacles, Greg. I'd like to establish that in canon now.
I have so many manacles.
I have so many manacles.
Yeah, Zane's got plenty of rope too, especially for a Romulan.
Oh God. Sure. All right. Yeah.
Yes, you guys can absolutely come up with rope, manacles. You're talking. You've got like the straight up binders from Star Trek, like the big kind of electro shrinky one. All right. Yeah, we'll use those. So as you kind of clip and get him bound up, are you doing anything vocally? Like, are you gagging? Are you?
I guess we should. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So with manacled and gagged,
I'm very good at this.
Everyone roll to see just how. No,
I'm very good at it.
Amat gives like some side eyes to Zane, like, "See, I told you."
Zane doesn't. He just very like profound. Yeah. So as you, right, that is something that if you didn't want to awaken the Romulan, Takora, you have a suggestion.
Sorry. There is something else that we could do.
I'm all ears.
There is the possibility of the mind meld.
You can do that? I mean, I assume.
Unfortunately, I never quite completed training in such a task. I admit that I am not proficient, but it could be attempted.
Well, I think we should use all applicable skills. So why don't you give it a shot?
There is a chance that I would cause great harm to both myself and the Romulan if it was not performed correctly.
Then I hope that you perform it correctly, if it's something you're willing to risk.
As the senior officer, I leave this up to you.
How confident do you feel in your ability to perform this, Lieutenant?
Me, Ellie, is so not confident.
Uh-huh.
Not to meta, but it would probably go horribly wrong.
Cool.
But Takora is not keen on letting you know that she probably doesn't think that she could do this. So maybe from a Betazoid point of view, you might be sensing some hesitation.
The captain... My prerogative is to keep all of you safe, so let's just try talking to him for now.
Logical.
I could try talking to him. I'm good at talking to people. People like me.
Ensign, I suggest you defer to your seniors in this matter.
Okay.
You should, Ensign, there's a tactic. You be the good Federation officer, and I'll be the bad Federation officer. So we'll partner up.
Oh, I can do that.
Good. That will work nicely.
So with the tea, you're with your hypo spray, you can quickly concoct a stimulant that will reawaken the Romulan, and with as it goes into the flesh of his neck, the eyes snap open and look around.
It's like, whoa. I sort of back up just a little bit.
Wave my fingers with the phaser in it.
He just sits there.
Does he have a communicator on him that we would recognize?
Yeah, I'm assuming you all pulled off.
No, I took that. That's mine now. Cool.
Okay.
Hi, which is what I said the first time. Hi. So, we'd just like to have a quick little chat about what's been going on here in Karina 7. Do you think we could chat? All right. Gonna remove the gag. I will stun you again. Understand? Great. I'll remove the gag.
He doesn't say anything.
Cool. Yeah. So tachyon sickness. Know anything about it?
Of course. Don't you?
Yeah. Know anything particularly about why it's here?
This is a Federation planet. We detected the tachyon emissions and came to see what weapon you were working on.
I feel like it's just silly to be like insight check, but Greg, insight check.
I feel it's silly, but insight.
insight.
Absolutely no. You should absolutely do that, and go ahead and give me. All right, here's what I'm going to say. This is opposed, so we're going to have our very first opposed. And so I would like from you an insight and a science. Now, the reason for the science is you're trying to detect falsehoods, tells, rapid breathing, eye movements, things that would indicate lying. He is going to not want you to do that.
That's just so rude of him after I stunned him so well.
Yeah, so you stun the shit out of him. Here's how this works with an opposed roll. So we're both going to roll. If there's a straight victory with successes, Victor goes with the highest success. If there is a tie in this circumstance, I'm awarding it to the party. Going forward, I could be the other way around if I want to spend a little threat or something like that. But we are going through our first mission, so I want to make sure we're okay. So anybody that wants to gauge whether or not this guy is lying, roll me an insight and science, and he will be rolling.
I'm gonna use momentum, and I have an applicable focus, which is interrogation.
Dang it. I don't think xenozoology is going to help me out here. He is not an animal. I was like, oh, I have xenobiology. And then I was like, I do not have that.
I'm going to use trust your instincts.
I'm a liar.
2 successes.
I got a focus and deception.
Oh, yeah, that definitely comes into play. Believe me, he just used his. So, yes, you may absolutely use it.
Ooh. Oh,
nice.
That's an interesting roll.
That's how we do here.
Yep. Take the good, you take the bad. Okay, so everybody had a success here. Anybody with 2 or more, including Takora, even though she has a condition that popped in there as well. Everyone with 2 successes against this person realizes that he seems to be honest right now, but there is a definite propensity for deception as you see eyes moving right to left. But the condition right here is going to be that Takora, you're getting thrown a little bit because there is an emotional quality to somebody that has almost a very Vulcan approach, and that's why you don't get this extra glean. But from our other 2 that had 2 successes, you get this. You actually pick up on one of his tells. So what this means is if he lies going forward, I will tell you that he's tricked something. Takora doesn't get that. She gets this kind of feeling, but not the actual tell. Doctor, you're not sure what's going on, but there's a standoff.
All right.
To be here.
So yeah, falling back on my personal talents, which are Born Near a Warp Core, and I also have Warm Welcome, which are both like, hey, you can talk to me, I'm a cool person type of talents. Amat will, sort of like lean in and say, we're just here as a rescue mission, so we really don't have any weapons on this planet or anything. Do you know something about these people getting old?
Of course. And these are your people.
Well,
why are
of
you
course.
asking me? Shouldn't you be taking care of them yourself?
Well, you see, we were the ones who brought stun phasers, and you were the one who brought a disruptor pistol. So it kind of seems like you're the hostile one here. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see why I'm kind of wondering why you want to shoot these people?
What do you want to know?
Do you know where this started? Have you found a source?
Yes.
Are you working to stop it?
Why would we do that?
I don't know. I don't really understand why you're here in Federation territory at all, but
Basic Federation incompetence, coupled with your barbaric nature of incursion. This seems very much like a biological weapon, something that you are employing against these poor, innocent citizens.
you almost got through that without sneering. Congratulations.
I felt like there was a sneer all the way through it, but I think that you're probably better at figuring those things out than I am. So why would we use a biological weapon and then nobody in the Federation know about it? That seems strange.
That is why we came here, to ascertain whether or not it was your incompetence or your aggression that produced the tachyon emissions that we were receiving all the way through the neutral zone.
So if we left these people to die, yet we're here now, that seems weird, right? So I think I would go in the direction of like incompetence instead of just like gross aggression. Don't you?
I'm not sure.
That's what I'm leaning towards as well.
Of course he is. All right.
Excuse me, he just sort of pops in. Hi, here, and holds the spray up. How often do you need to take this before you start aging?
Once every 7 cycles. Lie.
Is it? I'll keep hold of it for you then. You don't need it right now, right?
Correct.
Good.
Lie.
Good to know.
Big smile. All right. How many are your party?
I am the last one here. Lie.
Try again.
Are you asking me to give you my countrymen?
No, I'm asking if we wanted to talk with them, how likely it is they're going to just blast us.
We are leaving here. I am the last to clear out our headquarters. We have no wish to solve the Federation's problems.
Great. Cool. Well, you're not alone here, but...
By the way, that was a bit of a lie.
Do you have more of these spray thingies?
I'm leaving. I do not need any more of them. Lie.
That was a very indirect answer. You may not
Very
need
well.
them, but they might remain.
What will it take to release me? Am I a prisoner of war? Has the Federation's aggression finally come to this?
This is like the least aggressive I've ever been.
And I'm really proud of you. You're doing a great job.
If we... Could you take us to the source?
If I tell you where the source is, will you let me go?
I think so.
We have no intention of causing you any permanent harm.
Just safety precautions.
You may find it inside. We have destroyed most of the computer terminals so it doesn't fall into incompetent hands. But if you go to the main office at the rear of the facility, you should be able to
figure out a way to make the computer work. That will give me time to leave. Not a lie.
Do I get a sense of, in that total Betazoid way, that he's holding anything back?
You get the feeling that he knows the information that you're looking for, but he doesn't want to give it to you because he wants to get away while you find it inside.
Why don't you come with us?
He hadn't thought of that.
You should come with us. Then we'll let you go and you let us go. That way we know you're not going to shoot us while we're hanging out in there. And I'll be leaning on my persuasion focus for that.
I think it's really great for Romulan Federation relationships.
In fact, I would like the two that aren't working in this direct good Federation, bad Federation. So as Amat and Nat are tag teaming this Romulan, I would like Takora and I would like T to roll me the following. I would like a control and a command.
Like the two who should have never been allowed to talk to this Romulan.
Oh god.
You do have a reroll, Takora.
I'm gonna have to use a reroll because that is painful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you have 10 in control. Yeah, you can use a reroll there.
Shout out to Castle Mac for giving me another reroll. Okay, control, command. Okay.
There we go.
Oh
So
my God.
what the two of you come to realize is this is going on, and this kind of stance that he's taking about this, he's on the way wrong side of the neutral zone. He's not supposed to be here at all. This isn't in the neutral zone. This is Federation space. And he has drawn a weapon on a Federation officer, and he has absolutely zero galactic law leverage in this position. And so this is something that the two of you, anytime that you make a comment to this particular character, you will do so with an extra die, because you can easily use that as an implication or imply that he's where he's not supposed to be. And so with that realization, and as you all look, he reluctantly nods. Fine. I'll show you. We'll see if this Federation of yours is honorable or if you will shoot me in the back.
Oh, I won't shoot you in the back.
Yeah, we could have shot you in the back like 10 minutes ago.
That's a very good point, Ensign.
But we didn't.
What's your name?
Datok. Sub-Commander Datok.
Great. All right, Sub-Commander Datok. Let's go for a little walk-see.
And what we can do right here, I know we only have about a half hour left, but I see in chat, if we want to take a quick 2-minute break, everybody just split for a second, and then we can all come back in 2 minutes. Is that okay? Powers that be?
Bless you, Greg.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah,
You sweet man.
Let's take a quick 2-minute break. I just noticed that. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, we'll take a 2-minute break as Sub-Commander Datok
leads the party to the rippling holographic wall.
You're a blessed space angel.
Welcome back, everybody. And so, as Sub Commander Detok leads the group towards the rippling holographic field, just as you get towards the edge of it, he looks over his shoulder and makes eye contact with both Nat and Amat. Do I have your word you will not shoot me?
I don't have a gun.
You have my word that I won't.
Amat is still high, just FYI.
So good.
Which leads me a perfect segue to my next question. What about Zane? Is Zane coming with you? I mean, Zane's not stopping. If Zane, you look around behind and you see Zane.
Zane, I think you should stay here.
Really?
Yeah, you'll break your old man bones.
Okay.
This is an area far too dangerous for a child.
I'm not a child.
What?
I'll wait
The
here.
aging process.
You said you were 27.
You were... Didn't want to seem like a kid.
Mott will like smack the pipe out of his hand.
Just like, you're so dumb. Go sit over there.
Oh.
All right.
Zane, you've been very helpful. Really.
Well, I'll just keep watch then.
Yeah, same signal again. If you see anything.
He picks up his pipe. Okay. He goes over and sits on a rock behind a tree that's behind a bush.
Wow, all this gold is for me.
All right.
Thank you,
Sub-Commander Datak, I will not be setting my phaser to kill. Does that grant you some comfort?
He can't rub the scorch mark in the center of his outfit where the stun took him out, but he would if he could, indicating that as pleasant a sound as stun is, it is not a pleasant feeling. It's like full body cattle prod. But he nods. Very well, then. I guess we shall see. And he turns and begins to walk through.
Whoa.
Do you wish me to go first, second, third? You are in charge.
Yeah, probably in line. Just one more time. Could you tell me how many Romulans are behind this thing?
I am the last lie.
Okay, to talk. The thing is, if you didn't like my phaser stun, you're really not gonna like my right hook.
And we've had a lot of boys lie to us today.
There's a kind of a sad puff from behind the.
So
It's blue, a little blue cloud.
oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
a Kobayashi Maru is Reaver. Oh, I can do that. Datak folds. I don't know who's left. There could be none, there could be 20. Truth.
Great. Yeah, I think you first then. I'll just keep my hand on your shoulder pads. They're so large.
A model
you.
lean
Before
over
we
to
enter this area, should we not inform the captain of our intentions?
You're absolutely right. Yep, that would be a good idea.
You see, Sub-Commander, we're not here alone.
We detected your vessel when you entered the system. We know that the Reliant is above.
System you're not supposed to be in.
Quite.
We had to make sure it wasn't an attack.
In a
Staging
system
ground.
that you weren't supposed to be in.
You are within military distance to Romulus.
And you are in our custody because you're in a system you shouldn't be in. So don't lie. You're very bad at it.
you have it now.
Kneel into Reliant.
Kobayashi Maru. You hear static.
Yeah, that was a possibility. I'm okay. Ensign, hold him, please. I'm gonna jog back over to Zane.
Bear hug.
Yep.
Find this uncomfortable.
I know.
This is how I bad cop.
It seems to be way worse than the bad cop that he'd rather have the right hook.
And you're like, let's just hug it out. We're gonna hug it out.
He's doing the pull away.
No, it's okay.
You get over to Zane, who pops his head up. Do you need me?
Yes. For something very important.
What do you need?
If we're not back out in an hour, head back over to the shuttlecraft. You know how to use... Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know how to use a basic communicator?
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. There's one on board. I assume if they can get a signal through, they'll start asking. And you tell them that we're investigating Romulan presence on this planet. They were concerned about the tachyon emissions and investigated in our territory.
Okay.
That's all.
Tell them it's the Romulans, right?
No. You say there's Romulan presence. They were also here investigating the tachyon emissions in our territory.
Okay.
Please don't say it's the Romulans.
I won't. Can I tell them that you gave me a battlefield commission? I could be an ensign. Or a specialist.
Just tell them who you are, Zane.
An ensign?
Think of yourself as a deputy.
That's not a rank in Starfleet.
I know it's not. It's a... Sure. Acting ensign for 1 hour.
Ensign Zane Knoll. I won't let you down, sir. He starts moving towards the shuttle, and it's at that time you realize he also has the disruptor that was dropped.
No, he does not. No, I'm taking that from that child.
I'll take care of it.
No, give me that.
He's stiff-legged walking.
No, I can catch up to him if I jog backwards.
Do you jog to catch up to him?
Yes, this is exhausting.
Give me that. Time, the hug is becoming more and more awkward.
Yep. Give me that. Give me that.
Body heat is disturbing. He reluctantly gives over the disruptor.
Thank you.
What if they find me, or what if they've surrounded your shuttle? Might have to battle my way through.
No, Zane, just run or hide.
I won't let you down.
I know. Just gonna jog away.
He disappears around the elbow of the canyon. Have you decided what you're doing here? Are we hugging? Are we going inside?
I could hug you tighter if you like.
No, thank you.
Oh, you've been practicing your manners. I'm proud of you.
Which was, if anybody that can read that, the thank you was why, just.
Which is fine.
Yeah, that catches back up. This is a good way to enter as any. She'll go side by side with the hugged Romulan.
It's okay. I need a visual on this. So Amat is hugging the Romulan from behind, from the front, from the side, where
are his arms bound?
Behind him.
Yeah.
Okay, behind him. Then it is from the side, but when Amat hugged him, they looped one of their arms under one of his arms so that if he struggles free, he'll have to like dislocate his shoulder in order to get out of it. Because...
Gotcha. You've got him by just geometry at this point as you... okay, so as Amat, as they have him around this area, you won't have to kind of shuffle in. I was sort of hoping you were from behind and you guys have to like small step it in, but just so you didn't like knock each other over. But yeah, so as you go in, two of you side by side, I need to know where T, Takora, and Nat are in relation to going in here.
I think T was probably when Nat left, sort of stepped more in that direction just to make sure if she could hear anything, if anything happened.
Takora is happy to take point.
Takora, you're going in first then. Okay.
Yeah.
Nat, where are you?
I will be, I think, right behind the ensign and their friend and in front of T.
Okay. So as you all bleed into this hologram, for those of you that have experienced this type of, whether it be in a holodeck or something like that, this isn't the hard photon technology of a holodeck, but it is soft or light photon energy. So you can still feel it when you go through it. It's almost like passing through a light waterfall or hitting a thunderhead as the rain takes you as you brush through this curtain of focused light. And as you enter into this area, you see not a cave or a headquarters or a rallying point. You see a complex. You see a vast system with a large, almost cargo bay opening that you've just walked into, with catwalks and tunnels and hallways leading deeper into this facility. It is massive, perhaps a third of the size of the peak of the mountain, and it has not been here for 2 weeks. As if knowing this, the Talk looks around at both of you, the ones that had been aggressing him with the good cop, bad cop hugs and threats and stuns. Welcome. You're on Romulan soil, I guess.
How long has this been here?
Knowing that your tricorders could say a construction date for certain welds and things like that. 10 years.
Naughty.
And you have sensed the tachyon particles for the last 10 years?
No. This is a security force, a safety precaution, nothing more. We were here to make sure that any aggression or any rallying points for your military federation were noted before you crossed into our primary sensor array.
You do realize that having been here for so long puts you in a prime position to be culpable for creating this sickness.
We did not create the sickness, but we felt it as far inside as Romulus. We wanted to make sure you weren't focusing some sort of new weapon against us. But we realized, and he looks around at all of you, it was just Federation incompetence as predicted.
Where's it coming from?
I told you I would take you there, and then you will release me. That is honor. We'll see. And he indicates the main tunnel heading off of this direction. And it is at this point that I will let the away team know that per the terms of a Kobayashi Maru situation, you have no communication with the Reliant. You have no ability to transport from this facility. You are bound in this location by technology of the Romulans and by a no-win situation provided by Isreaver.
However, you do see no other Romulans and an awaiting tunnel just down the way. Shall we?
So ominous. Yep.
We have few other options.
Let's go.
So as you move into this established Romulan facility, you notice as soon as you cross into this threshold, where in the Federation or on board the Reliant itself, you would see the illuminated stations that would represent some type of interface with the computer. A lot of it's verbally done now, but especially engineering sections, you would see complex codes and things that would require both verbal and tactile interface. All of those have been burned. It doesn't take a roll to realize they went through this place and disrupted everything they think could provide any type of information. This is Watergate. This is shredding the documents. This is making sure that if something's found, nothing could tie them or nothing could tie it to the Star Empire. But as you proceed deeper into this area, he seems to want to slip past a room, but there is a room to your right, the first of 6, and there seems to be a computer bank inside that's still flickering. But he walks, kind of dragging Amat past it.
Lieutenant Takora, how are you with the computers?
I'm relatively proficient in computers.
Could you check that one out and see if there's any still discernible information about what they were doing here for so long?
Certainly.
This is not what I told you. I said that I would give you the information. I cannot guarantee your safety if we make pit stops.
I don't think you can guarantee our safety at all, to talk.
He says nothing.
Okay. Creepy. Proceed, Lieutenant.
Anybody that would be working inside, I would need a insight and a science roll. I will say that this is a difficult roll because the Romulans, if anything, are thorough. But there is a flicker. And where there is a flicker, there is hope.
Can I use momentum on it?
Absolutely. You can buy one additional D20 for 1 momentum. You can buy a second for another 2, and you can even buy a third for another 3. So you could spend all momentum and get 3 dice, 3 momentum and get 2 extra dice. It's up to the group. It's up to you.
I think I'll get 1, guys. What do you think? Like, I feel like this scene isn't far from over and we might need that momentum later.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. Here's a question about determination. Does that come back every session or every kind of mission?
Every session for us. So yes, Takora, if you want to use your determination here, you will automatically succeed in this task. And actually, that's an excellent point, Lauren, as we are at the end of the session, and now is a great time to use that determination.
I've never played a game in my life.
May I use that, please?
Yes, because you said please. I appreciate that. No, you could said, "Can I use that asshole?" And I still would have let you use it.
That's what I say.
That's what she says, right? As you sit down, and where normally you would receive the following information, the information reads this. Quickly, you're able to discern that the Romulans have figured out the source of the tachyon emissions. It seems to be the predominant thing they've been working on. So as you get this pad and this computer terminal fired back up, whatever information that the talk was willing to give you, you have it right here. It says that Carina 10, a gas giant in this system, seems to be the source of the tachyon emissions. Now, whether or not this is naturally occurring or artificial has yet to be determined. However, there is a Romulan warbird in the system. They have noted Reliant's approach. They are not very fond of Reliant because it seems that she is a fighter, and they fancy their warbird to be a match for most Federation science vessels. Reliant is not a science vessel at its heart. But this Carina 10 gas giant has the source of the emissions, and the warbird has been dispatched to see exactly what's going on at Carina 10. But with the additional information that Avatar has provided via data pads for both of our science officers, it is our new arrival, our Vulcan, who discovers both pieces of information. You see that they were also comparing this tachyon emission to stolen Federation files. And as you look through, most of this has been redacted by the Federation itself, as if even this electronic digital version was too classified to put together. It's not encrypted, it's simply not whole. And as you look, you pick up a couple key terms. One of them is a name, Carol Marcus, and the other is Project Genesis. And that is where we will end this session of Star Trek Perfection's Shadow.
Ah! Damn. Can we just say that, like, Takora, like, looked at this information and just sort of, like, turns to the group? We need to get back to the Reliant.
Perfect. I will say this, even though the session is over, the scene, in my opinion, is not. And so while we are going to get our determination and things like that back and reset for next session, the Kobayashi Maru will go on for at least a little bit longer, as the Reliant communications with the ship have been severed. So love the session. Let's go around to everybody. I'll hand it back over to Alice. Alice?
Hello. That was really awesome, Greg. I loved it. So we will hop around. Everyone say where we can find you, what you're doing online, what you do, and also your favorite bit. So why not let's start with our new addition to the team, our Vulcan. So hello, Lieutenant Takora.
Hi. Guys, that was ridiculous. That was so good. I'll start with my favorite parts first. Well, the bit where we were playing, and then the other bit where we were playing together some more, and then like some more playing. Basically, I couldn't choose a favorite moment. It was fantastic. What a session to join in on. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. So I have been Lieutenant Takora. Normally, I am just Kempester on Twitter. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. EST, I'm part of the Greyhawk channel's Mordenkainen's Path of the Plains, where I play a super, super depressed rogue. I'm also the co-host of a podcast called Monster Crush. You can find us on Twitter at Monster Crushing. It is about dating aliens, supernatural beings, cryptids, all your hottest and favorite monsters, and we talk about whether or not we would smooch them. So if that sounds like it's your thing, go follow us on Monster Crushing. We drop an episode every 2 weeks. Apart from that, I am a historian. I'm writing my PhD, and I tweet a lot about how depressing that is. So come along for the lols. Looking forward to it, and I can't wait for next week. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And then we're gonna hop over to our Lieutenant Nat Nealon. Oh, Lauren, hello.
Hi. I liked all of it. I especially liked stunning the crap out of that guy. That was fun. I liked that. That made me happy inside. I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter. I have the flu. Hello. But it will be gone very soon. I swear. Places you can find me around the internet, over on twitch.tv/Tales from the Grim. Tomorrow, no, I know what day it is. Sunday night, we have Project Athena, a Pulp Cthulhu campaign. It's our penultimate episode of the series. Everything's fine. Smooches are a riot, Greg. And on Monday night, we have the premiere of a new show that I'm GMing called Wild Blue Yonder, a Lady Blackbird campaign. And Greg's in it, and Alice is in it, and Kiana's in it, and Tommy's in it, and Serena from Rivals of Waterdeep and the Dungeon Rats. It's gonna be super exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. That's fun. If you like space and drama, there will be lots.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Now we're going to hop over to Matt Val, our ensign, or TK.
It's me. It's TK. All right, those spooky stories on the internet. If you like spooky stories, you can read them, tkjwrites.com, or follow me on Twitter, TK Joins the Fray. I pretty much just write spooky stories and play in games online. I'm a D&D community moderator. That's my whole life, is that I just play games all the time and eat ravioli, and that's it. Tonight, if you like the Dungeons and the Dragons, and if you like goth dating sims, check me out. Wizards D&D Twitch channel. It's just D&D on Twitch, and we're gonna be playing Tales from the Mist, which is set in Ravenloft and has like some kind of weird soap opera thing going on with it. I'm trying to put some monsters in there, but I think everybody's just gonna smooch, and I'm okay with it. That's it. Buy my book.
Awesome, thank you. And last but not least, our very own storyteller, Greg. That was awesome, Greg.
Oh, I had a great time. Boy, I absolutely love the dynamic. Star Trek has become, it's climbing the charts for my favorite systems, just because I think the more I get into it and the more we all get into it, there's way more to it mechanically, but it's pretty intuitive. It doesn't slow down. I love the interface that we have. Everybody's Lauren's call out for determination at the end of the session proves that it doesn't take too long to really get a handle on this bad boy and let it narratively dictate or let it mechanically dictate the narrative subtly, which is awesome. It's a perfect thing for a system, in my opinion. I love playing with this group. This group is great. Takora, when she shows up and is just like perfect Vulcan. You said in private chat, I didn't know she'd be this big a bitch. I think it's perfect Vulcan. She's just being matter of fact. You think that's not how you do it. I just thought that was absolutely the best. Now, my favorite part was the whole thing was the stunning of the talk as he just got shut down immediately, but also I love the entire climbing sequence because that was everybody. There were moments where the doctor was, I don't know if I can do this. And then there was the communication. Everybody was rolling. Everything looked correct with the whole situation. It was Star Trek. And I really, really dug that. I dug that away team feel to everything. But hey, I'm Grimjack21502 on the Twitter. I am Tales from the Grim, part of one of many on the Twitch. As Lauren said, we have Project Athena on Sunday. We have Wild Blue Yonder on Monday evening. And also we have a charity one-shot on Monday from 5 until 8-ish, where we are going to be playing some of the old school Marvel superheroes from TSR as we donate money for multiple sclerosis. Several of our players lost a dear friend this week, and so we are going to throw on some costumes and some tights. It is full cosplay, and we have Donathan Fry as Daredevil, Big Pig 50,000 as Spider-Man. We have Little Cup of Joe as Jessica Jones, Laugh Love Lindy as Shadowcat, and Actual Slack as Mr. Fantastic. And I will be Stan Lee. So please join us and contribute and donate to multiple sclerosis. But be back here next week as we continue this romp through both the stars and time. Thanks to this crew. Thanks to chat for being awesome. And thanks for my lovely hosts here at the Academy, Grimjack. Until next week.
Thank you. Awesome. Yes. And last, me. I'm White Rabbit Pick. That's where you can find me on the Twitter. I do photography stuff as well, but I'm also a DM for this channel as well as a player. And I'll also be heading over for two lovely things over on the Tales from the Grim very, very soon, which I'm super excited about. So my favorite thing, again, I know it's boring to say, but kind of all of it. I can't help it. I really like the interactions, the fact we've got a Vulcan that is so matter of fact. We've got Nat, who's so done. We've got like Val, who is just happy to be there and wants to touch, taste, and poke everything. And I think T's obviously nervous and just trying to do her best and hope things go well. And yeah, I'm already excited for next week. So yeah, guys, hop in and join our Discord. It's full of some seriously awesome people. So go and say hi and become a part of this family that is the Scrat Academy. Also, if you would like a game, drop Scrat a message on Twitter. We've actually got in the next couple of hours, we've got one of our viewer games, which is Ryutama, if you fancy trying a different system like that. Also, we are full-time now, and ways to support us are like via Patreon or via our merch on Redbubble. On our Patreon, there are some free articles by the lovely Renee, so definitely feel free to go and check those out. And we also have some seriously wonderful sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm, who is our very own tool school, who you will see on this channel, and lovely Bird versus Plane. And there's the links to all their Teespring merch and everything over there. Also, we are sponsored by Mage Hand Press, another awesome thing that you guys really need to go check out. Mage Hand Press produced Dark Matter Alpha, which you will see in our campaign, Completely Legitimate Business, run by Love Lindy, every Thursday night. And it's D&D in space, so it's awesome. But other than that, we are going to go and raid Encounter Roleplay now. So head over there, spread the love, say where you've come from, say hi. I'm not too sure. I think they're playing some good old-fashioned D&D right now. So yeah, we're going to head over and raid, and we'll see you in a couple of hours for the next stream for Ryutama. So keep evoking emotions, guys, and we'll see you later. Bye.